Welcome to the Side Hustlers Society podcast, the place where you can find out more about the hustles that are best for you. And of course, make more money in the process. Elijah has been in the gig economy and freelance space for over 8 years and has done over 4,000 deliveries on Uber Eats. Has several video editing clients, many properties on Airbnb, runs multiple YouTube channels, and is the author of the best-selling book, The Anatomy of Financial Success. It's his mission to empower people with the tools needed to be successful. Now, welcome your host, the king of the side hustles, Elijah Bilel.
What's up, everyone? Let me welcome you to another episode from the Side Hustlers Society. I'm your host, Elijah. I know it's been a good minute. I want to apologize on that front. I've had a lot of personal things going on behind the scenes, and I've also been doing some reflecting on how I'm going to be moving forward with my brands just in general. That goes for the Side Hustlers Society, Financial Anatomy, etc. And that's actually what inspired this podcast. So this season is about lead generation, but this is going to be a show where we're not really going to be talking about leads per se, because there's something else I want to talk about that's very important. But the next episode will pick up right where we left off in terms of leads. In fact, on the next episode, I'm going to be sharing 5 underrated sources of leads that people are sleeping on. But focusing on what we got here, I've been kind of toying with the notion that I haven't been serving everyone in my audience, both locally in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, as well as online, to the fullest extent they can be served. And I'm going to break that down a little. So as y'all know, I make a lot of, sorry, voice just kind of gave out for a sec. As y'all know, I make a lot of content across the YouTube channels, on this podcast, on the normal Side Hustler Society channel, on Financial Anatomy. And that's great. And people have gotten good results using that content. And I'm very proud that I was able to make that happen for people. But many people also know that I do one-on-one consultations. And I've been able to help people get results in their business that way too. But there's a section of my audience that it doesn't make sense to work with me right now, whether it be money costs or time constraints in terms of one-on-one. So I started something locally in the Dallas-Fort Worth area called Money Talks, where I just host something locally when I go out to eat lunch on a Saturday. And I invite people to join me for a discussion, and we'll talk about something related to money, whether it be freelancing, investing, lead generation. These are just a few things that we've talked about. And that's a situation where people can just talk about various things involving money and not feel shamed about it. And they can also talk to me and have access to me, ask me any questions that they have. And it's a good way for them to continue moving forward towards their financial goals if they can book a one-on-one session with me. But the issue with that is not everyone can attend something like that because of, stuff in their everyday lives. So I'm getting the inspiration to start something. And everyone listening, I would love it if y'all would want to be a part of this. It's a type of academy that will teach people the world of self-employment or how to be a one-person business. It's going to be called the Self-Made Business Academy. This is something where for a monthly fee or annual fee, depending on what a person wants to sign up for, they can have access to me and the resources they need to keep moving towards their goals so that they can achieve the outcomes that they want to achieve. And I got the inspiration to do this because one of my good colleagues, she just became a real estate agent, went through the course and everything. And we were talking on the phone, and she was asking me about organizing meetups because she knows that I have the Veggie Outers, which long-term listeners already know about. But that's essentially a vegan meetup group. And this is separate from like business. It has a totally different purpose. But we go to a restaurant. On a scale of 1 to 10, we review that restaurant, give them a score, and it's a vegan restaurant or a restaurant with vegan options, and we try their vegan food out. And these meetups tend to have pretty big turnouts. And she was asking me for some advice on how to start something like that so it could generate leads for her real estate business because, she's looking to get that off the ground. And I told her normally something like that is where I work with someone one-on-one. So you could book a session, but I actually just started a meetup series called Money Talks, where we get together, people in my network, and we talk about things involving money. And during those talks, people were free to ask me any questions. So we could also talk about it there and it would be free for you. So I invited her to the money talks and she said she's going to try and make it. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to make it because she had an open house on the same day and time of that event. For those of y'all that don't know, open house is something that it's essentially a tour that a real estate agent gives to people who are looking to buy a house. So obviously, she had to make that happen because those are leads, but she couldn't make the money talks. And the issue still existed. Hey, she still needs information on how to conduct meetups and how to set it up and the back end stuff to make things really pop off. So it was a situation where she couldn't book me one on one, but she also couldn't attend the Money Talks workshops. And to be honest, the free content I have made on this topic, it spans over 10 to 20 videos, and that can be time consuming to actually consume on its own. So it's a situation where some people, and I'm using her kind of as an avatar for people who are having this problem. I can't serve them because the three medians that I just told you just aren't able to accommodate their needs. But when I'm looking to start here, with it being a self-made business academy, is actually something that will be able to accommodate people's needs. They can't book me one-on-one, but they also can't really do the free stuff because of the reasons that I mentioned. It's an in-between where people can have access to me in addition to having the resources they need to achieve the desired outcome of making their one-person business successful. This is why I want to invite you to become part of the Self-Made Business Academy. In this way, people can have access to me on a regular basis to get their questions answered so they can keep moving forward towards their outcomes that they want. Because in the Self-Made Business Academy, I'm going to be doing weekly office hours. That means that every single Wednesday, I'll hold a Q&A for this community where they can ask me any questions so that they can get those questions answered. This also allows me to make content and focus on getting the members their desired outcomes instead of having to think about, well, will the YouTube algorithm pick something up? Or maybe not too many people will be watching this. The political shenanigans that goes with being a content creator, at least on YouTube and really all these platforms, I'll be able to really focus and zero in on the needs of the Academy members to really help them achieve their goals. And probably the biggest thing out of anything that I mentioned so far, but a lot of people don't actually talk about this, but if you're a one-person business or you're self-employed, so you're a realtor, massage therapist, graphic designer, video editor, inspiring content creator, you want to be a YouTuber, making money that way. These are just some examples of a quote unquote one-person business. It can be a lonely path. When you encounter problems, you don't really have anyone to turn to locally unless you just happen to be born into some kind of business family. If that's the case, good for you. But you don't have a place to ask your questions. You don't have a place to share what you're going through, how you're feeling, to get those feelings validated. And you can talk to other people about how they were able to overcome them. And of course, we all want to get that bag, right? Well, there's a step-by-step process on how to get that bag that's universal to being a one-person business. You need to make sure that you're on the track to make sure you're doing those steps so that you can eventually achieve that. In addition to that, once you do start making money, the same thing that is preached in the dominant society about financial stability still applies to us, but we have different challenges from employees. I mean, we need to learn about investing, but since our paychecks can be a little different, maybe not as steady, maybe more of a hard, like a more chaotic, we need to know investing habits to form so that we can make sure that we are building an investment portfolio. We need to make sure that we're planning for retirement. We need to know about those different retirement accounts that employees actually don't have access to. So in some ways, we have things that we can leverage that employees don't, but many people don't exercise them because they don't know about it. These are things like solo 401ks, SEP IRAs, and everyone can use this, but the Roth IRA and making sure that you're using that and maxing out those contributions. In addition to just other things in general, including what is the right business setup or entity for what you want to do, whether it be a sole proprietorship, S Corp, or LLC. These are things we can talk about in the Self-Made Business Academy that people have just several questions about online, and it really holds them back from taking that leap to even start anything. What this membership will basically entail is it will be an all-access pass for everything that's on the Side Hustler Society site right now and in the future. So as you can see on the screen, you see a few different courses that are available right now, but there are also some that are in the works. And this gets into my next point, which is mastering modern money mechanics. Now, I'm not the coin originator of that phrase. I don't know who came up with that phrase, but I'm just using it to kind of describe what I mean. But if you're going to be a one-person business and you're going to start accumulating wealth and getting this bag, there's some pit stops that every person who becomes wealthy usually tends to utilize on the way. Like a good example is content creation, which is what I'm doing. Now, I'm not saying you got to start a YouTube channel. You can if you want to, but if you know the ins and outs of making content and making a commercial for their product or service, this is what's going to allow you to maximize your leads, your quality leads. And once you get swamped with too many leads, well, that means it's time to raise your rates and you can really start to make money. But that starts with learning how to produce content. And that's a necessary skill that you're going to have to develop, or you need to hire someone to do it for you. It's on the way to achieving real success in your business and likewise wealth. The same thing can be said about buying a house and growing your net worth, which at some point, most people are going to want a house. And even if you don't want a house, most people are going to want some kind of high tier apartment, like in the middle of downtown, has all the like luxuries in it, like the gym is in the building. There's a lounge area. You're close to everything. You're in the center of, y'all know what I'm talking about. But my point is, whether you're going to be buying a house or you want to get one of these higher tier apartments, the requirements for someone who is self-employed is different from a typical employee. So you need to know what you need to be doing right now. As in, if you're not doing it right now, you need to start doing it right now from a record keeping perspective to make sure that you can qualify for a mortgage or qualify to get that high tier apartment that you eventually want. This requires a plan to be in place so that you're doing the right thing. So when you're ready, you can move in that bad boy and start building your net worth or start leveraging the opportunities that come from being in the center of usually the Metroplex or in the center of your city, or it'll be downtown or uptown. That has its own perks too. Or you could be doing both. You can be doing both, like having a high tier apartment. Like y'all know I stayed in uptown Dallas in West Village. And you could also be building wealth on the side by buying houses, building your net worth up, and renting them out on the real estate market or through Airbnb. And speaking of Airbnb, this is another modern money mechanic. You're probably going to have to tap in the real estate market if you want to build real wealth. But if you're going to do that, chances are you probably want to use Airbnb in some form or fashion. I'm not saying you rely on it, but knowing the dynamics of short-term rentals, mid-term rentals, or corporate housing, and of course the traditional real estate or long-term rentals, and how to use these OVAs, which that's all Airbnb is, it's an OVA, on how to get people inside the unit so you can start maximizing that money pretty quickly without even having to build a personal brand. You can start getting the ball rolling real quickly real estate-wise. That's something that's going to be covered in the academy because I have a YouTube course in the works and an Airbnb course in the works too. And the thing is, these courses will be made available to people who are in the Self-Made Business Academy as part of the membership. And the thing is, you don't have to wait for the whole course to be completed. I've launched courses in phases. So there's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, right? And when I complete phase 1 of a course, that's available for people in the academy to check out and look at and even critique. So maybe I want to go back and make something even better and they can have access to that too. So they can have access to parts of the course faster than people who would have to wait for the course to come out and buy it. So what I just overall described is my vision for what the Self-Made Business Academy can be. But I'm just going to keep it 100. Right now, it is just an idea, and I begin building the infrastructure. But in general, it's going to still use a lot of work and use some feedback. That's why I would like to invite you to join the Self-Made Business Academy as a founding member. As a founding member, you'll be able to shape the culture and content of the academy in a very influential way because you would have been here from the beginning. But like I said, since it's not completed, I would like to offer the founding members a huge discount on what the price will ultimately be, which is a 30% discount for joining the Self-Made Business Academy. So if you're interested in joining the Self-Made Business Academy as a founding member, I'm offering a huge discount as this is something that is in the creation phases, and I would love for you to be a part of it. If you're really serious about becoming a one-person business, whether you're already there or you want to get there in the future, just click on the link that's in the description or in the pinned comment, and we would love to have you join as a founding member so you can help shape the culture of the Academy. In addition to that, you'll get all the details that I already outlined in the show, and I'm only going to be offering this for the next 72 hours. So if this interests you, click on the link that's in the description or the pinned comment, and I look forward to helping you take your business to the next level or even decide what type of business you want to start if that's where you're at currently. The Self-Made Business Academy is not really for those seeking a side hustle. It's really meant for those people who are either full-time self-employed or who aspire to be full-time self-employed. So you don't have to be there now, but you aspire to eventually reach that goal, but you have all these reservations on how do I make this happen? Like if I do leave the 9 to 5, what happens if I go broke? How much money do I need to stay off the 9 to 5? How do I achieve wealth as someone who's self-employed? What happens if I can't pay my bills? What happens if I want to buy a house? And, they say I don't qualify because I don't have a standard W-2 that I can show them, or I technically don't have a job. Can I just not buy a house anymore? All this is usually compounded with this feeling that you have the confidence or the skill set to go ahead and leave this part of your life behind, but you're just hesitant because you don't have the answers to all these questions. And these questions are producing anxiety, and that anxiety stops you from taking action. I want to be here to support you during that transition should you want to become a one-person business. So that's what I wanted to say on this episode of the Side Hustler Society. I actually might be streaming this on other channels too, probably Financial Anatomy too. So if you want to be part of this, shoot me a DM on Instagram or Facebook. I'll send you the information. And like I said, it's my desire that if you have that outcome in mind and that goal in mind, that you join as a founding member. You can help influence the culture of the Academy and also the content. And I can help you achieve your financial goals on your own terms. Because ultimately, when you're a one-person business, that is what's going to be happening. So that does it for this podcast episode / live stream for those that are listening somewhere else and not on the podcast. But if y'all have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Instagram and Facebook are linked. And I'm looking forward to really starting this so that I can serve that audience that I feel is neglected. Because my one-on-one clients, I've talked to them. They've gotten results. They're happy. People who are absorbing the free content, they're getting results that way on their own terms. They're happy. And even the people locally to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, they're getting results because they're attending the money talks. But there's that segment of people where one-on-one isn't going to work for them and the free content isn't going to be enough. This can really serve them to help them achieve their goals. I'll catch y'all in the next podcast. For Financial Anatomy, don't forget to get out there and take control of your financial destiny. But that applies more than ever to all the channels, not just Financial Anatomy. I'll see y'all later. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and hit the thumbs up if you found value in this video. I'll catch you on the flip side. Or perhaps I'll see you in the Academy.
This episode may be over, but your hustling journey has just started. Visit thesidehustlersociety.com to access all links and resources mentioned in the show that will help you on your hustler's journey.